I want to welcome everyone today. Today we have Robert Fenn from the Social Security Administration. He'll be talking about what happened to my Social Security statement, its different components, new design, and how to access it. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you for having me, and thank you all, Altman Hospital, and those who are decided to join us today. I'm hoping everyone is well. Um, we have all been through something. The first thing I definitely want to talk about is the Social Security statements. Now, why do I want to talk about that? Um, People became accustomed to receiving their Social Security statements. I don't know if they were staying up late at night, waiting for their birthday, and like, oh, I can't wait to get my Social Security statement. That'll be so grand, right? Well, I don't know who says that phrase, so grand, but I understand that people became accustomed to receiving that. And that Social Security statement came out 3 months before your birthday. And several years ago, there was a change in which that Social Security statement, we would mail it out in increments of 5 years. We were mailing it out in increments of, after the age of 20, 25, 30, et cetera. Right. And then the Social Security statement, then we had a little tweak in that as far as then it wasn't sent out. Then it started again. Now, what people may not know is the Social Security statement is mailed out to those who are age 60 and older. So again, during this pandemic, individuals were asking, okay, I just want to still be aware of what's taking place for my Social Security earnings. So I'm going to talk about that. Now, before I get into the new design and what's taking place with the statement, there's some basic things I want to cover because many of you have those questions regards to Social Security. So I'm going to go through that. I'll get this started. It won't be um, as lengthy as a normal retirement type presentation, but there's some things that I would like to cover. And one of the things I do want to share that I've been discussing with individuals in the public is other means in which you could find resources to balance, those finances. One of the things that I have learned and that I'm discussing is the website called mymoney.gov. Mymoney.gov. What is it? Mymoney.gov. It is a collaboration of 20 different federal agencies placing all their information on one website. So Social Security, IRS, Veterans, Railroad Board, all have their information easily accessible on one website. So if there are changes, a couple of years ago, there were some changes with IRS in terms of qualifications and things that you would need to be aware of before you file those taxes. That's here on this website. You can see there's a set of leaves: spend, earn, save and invest, protect and borrow. Now these leaves, you can click on them and you can find further information about them. So if you decided to create a budget, for your family, there are budget worksheets. You can print them off right here. Someone has a newborn child. They're looking to find out, well, what things do I need to be aware of that? It's underneath life events. So check out this website, mymoney.gov. Now, of course, for Social Security, I like to reiterate the point that Social Security is supposed to be part of the nest egg. Now, we probably all are aware that there are several or many individuals who use Social Security as probably their sole resource in terms of their finances. But Social Security was always meant to be part of the other income, your savings and investments, and your other pensions to supplement you during your retirement. The Social Security payment itself, on average, is replacing around 40% of what someone used to take home each month. At this time, we have 178 million individuals who pay Social Security taxes. So that's about 94% of all workers who are covered by Social Security. Now, of course, there are other pensions that individuals do pay for, maybe based upon the state that they live on, but the majority, United States citizens, 178 million, are paying their Social Security taxes. What does that Social Security start? Those taxes? Well, when you work, you get your first job. Many of us remember our first job. There's some of you can probably nod your head and say, oh, yeah, they put me to work at the age of 14, 15 years old. And that was your first job. And you were able to look at your pay stub and you learned something called FICA, the FICA tax, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act. Well, be mindful of this, that as an individual starts their job or if you're currently working, 6.2% of your income goes to Social Security in terms of retirement benefits. 1.45 is the Medicare tax. You add those two things together, 7.65 of your income, 7.65% of your income goes toward the Social Security Trust Fund. If you're working in a what we call a covered employer, that employer matches that 7.65. That makes 15.3%. So 15.3% will be the amount deducted from your pay that will go toward your retirement benefits. Now, how do you qualify? We take those percentages and we transfer them into what we call credits. So this year, if a person makes $1,510 gross, they earn 1 credit. Every year, they can get as many as 4 of those credits. Now, it doesn't matter. LeBron James, Bill Gates, Mr. Buffett, Mr. Bezos, even though they make a scotch more than I do, right? Don't mess with my dreams. That's just a thought I have. That individual still only can earn 4 credits per year. Your goal over the lifetime is to get 40 of those credits. So I get 4 each year, trying to get 40. 4 into 40 is 10. If an individual works and makes at least 10 years of average work, that individual is going to be what we call insured for Social Security retirement benefits. So again, $1,510 is the gross amount this year. Your goal is to get at least 4 of those credits each year. And then your goal is to get up to 40 of those credits. So if you make 4 times 1510, $6,040 would be your goal for the year. Now, I just mentioned 10 years. 10 years makes an individual eligible for Social Security retirement benefits. But Social Security retirement benefits are based upon an individual's top 35 years. Top 35 years over an individual's lifetime. And something that I like to point out, now, again, this presentation today is not set up for us to go into the deep waters of Social Security, but I'm at least going to make sure I whet your appetite and staying with this theme of water, what have you. With this pandemic, I'm trying to get a vision of vacation in my head. So just move with me on it. Step 1 that we're going to look at to figure out how much you're eligible for is we're going to adjust your past earnings to today's value. So you remember that first job that you took, right? You only made, making up a number here, $2,000 for the year, right? You're only 15 years old. I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty good money then, right? Well, that $2,000 in 1960, 1970, 1980, 2000, when you come to file for your Social Security benefits in 2022, 2040, we're going to bring today's value. So that $2,000 then today could be worth $10,000, or in 20 years from now, it could be worth $30,000. So that's our first initiative, is to find out what that dollar amount translates to today. And then we're going to get, again, as I said, your top 35 years over your lifetime. Now, I want to make sure I say this to everyone. Be mindful of this, is that if you work and you file for your Social Security benefits, and then we figure out how much we're going to pay you, and then you decide, I like to be so proactive, I'm going to keep working after that. Any money that you make after receiving a Social Security payment, when you file those taxes, because that time is coming, April 18th, you file those taxes, that information comes from IRS to Social Security, and we will compare to see if the money you're making after receiving Social Security payments, is it more than the dollar amounts we use to figure out how much we're to pay you. If the dollar amount is higher after receiving a Social Security payment, it goes into the calculation, it bumps out one of the lower 35 years, and it replaces it, and that would increase the Social Security payment. Conversely, the person works after getting a Social Security check, finds a job that is less earnings per year than what we use to figure out the Social Security payment, it does not go into your calculation, because then it would lower the average amount you made each month. So just be mindful of that. Several individuals will contact me and they'll say, hey, I'm still working, so why isn't my check going up? I see that 7.65% is coming out of my check, so should my check go up? No, we're looking at your top 35 years. And be mindful, there's a chart here that I'm showing you that gives you information about your full retirement age, which I'm going to have you keep this in mind when I speak about your Social Security statement in a moment here. The year that you're born determines what Social Security calls your full retirement age, meaning full retirement age means when can I get 100% of what I'm eligible for? Well, look at the chart on your left-hand side. You see the years of 1943 to 1954. You're born between those years, full retirement age is 66. But if you're born after 1954, the full retirement age increases increments of 2 years, 2 months, sorry, not 2 years. Well, that would have been something. 2 months. So 1955, 66 and 2 months, all the way to 1960 or later, full retirement will be age 67. What this screen is pointing out to you, the earliest age you can file for your Social Security retirement benefits is age 62. Age 62. Now, even if you were to retire from Albany Hospital or any other uh, company or institution, whatever you're working, that does not change the date for you or year for you to file for Social Security benefits. So you can retire at age 55 from your place of employment, but Social Security's retirement age is age 62. If you decide to file at age 62 versus waiting to age 66, if that's your full retirement age, you would get a reduction, as the screen says here, 25%. So at 66, you could have received $1,000, but you opted for age 62, so you get 75%, $750. And again, you can see here, those percentages change as we go along because there's less amount of time between age 62 to your full retirement age. This is just a little bar graph. I like to show visual because I know that everyone has some uncle who will come to the family picnic and tell you, you know what? I came here just to tell you when you should get your Social Security benefits. And you should always listen to Uncle Joe because Uncle Joe knows everything, right? And Uncle Joe will give you all these scenarios of a person that he used to work with and they did this and Uncle Joe means well, but Uncle Joe doesn't work for Social Security. Where there's a couple Joes here, but not that one. My point is this: find out information for yourself in terms of Social Security benefits. This bar graph is pointing out to you that a person can file at any age, whether it's a solid number of 62, 63, 64, or in between 62, 66, 62 and 6 months, 63 and 4 months, 65 and 8 months. They can do that. Every month a person waits to file for his or her Social Security retirement benefits, the Social Security check does increase every single month. So some individuals may wait until the age 66. Some individuals may wait to as late as age 70. And there's something we call delayed retirement credits that gives them a higher increase to the Social Security payments. So make sure that when we do our retirement presentation here with Altman, make sure you join us on that. That's my little tease. And now let's talk about the Social Security statement, right? This is where you can find it. This is our website. This is our landing page, socialsecurity.gov. Please be aware that there are other websites that if you were to just type in a search engine, the word Social Security, for the most part, ours is going to jump to the top or be at the top, socialsecurity.gov. But if you're scanning through your list of websites options, make sure you look at the one that says .gov. There are others out there that may say .com or .org, but they're not the official website. And some of those sites have links within them, embedded in them, that will say, hey, we'll answer X questions, whatever your questions may be. We may even help you file for benefits. And then you'll get a link that says, now to complete this transaction, please put in your credit card number. And so that way we can send this off to the Social Security Administration. All of Social Security's programs, benefits, presentations are always free. So be mindful of that. Now, back to the Social Security statement. You can see on the left-hand side here, the little hand touching the space bar. That's the beginning for you to start this, My Social Security. Here's a little red arrow. And you will get this as a little prompter to let you know that you are going to start to go to the My Social Security portal. Now, let me make sure I explain that. This My Social Security portal is going to allow you to do a variety of things, right? One of those things, of course, if some people say, I get too much mail. You ever go to the mailbox and say, oh my gosh, I got nothing at all, but just some junk mail? I mean, I like pizza, but how many pizza coupons do I need, right? Well, some people do not want to get all those mail notices that we may have sent to you. And you can opt just for those notices just to be sent to you to your My Social Security portal online. Something that's very important, I like to make sure people know, there are 3 top reasons why individuals will go to the Social Security office, which I'll talk about that in a moment. That is to file for a benefit, get proof of their income, and or a Social Security card, right? Well, now you can get your Social Security card in the state of Ohio online. You can go to our website, you'll register for an account through the My Social Security portal, and you can get your Social Security card online without having to set foot into the local Social Security office now. We know that many individuals may not be able to come to our office during our office hours. You're working, right? So there may be a 9 to 5 shift that you're working, and you're like, okay, I can't get there. Well, you can simply pull up your phone and you can go to our website, socialsecurity.gov, and start the process. And if I can take a little sidebar, many people say things like, I don't have a computer. I don't ask individuals if they have a computer. I simply ask, do you have an email address? Because if you ask an individual if they have an email address, chances are they got it. Because what people may not recognize that this little thing here that we're looking at, it's actually a computer that you use as a phone, right? That's what it is. So you do have a computer, you have access to the internet. And then they say, well, grandma is X age. Well, how is it that grandma knew Johnny's first steps? That's because she has a Facebook account, which is a computer. So just be mindful of that before we tell individuals what they don't have access to, because many people do have it. Not everybody. Don't get me wrong on that. But I want to make sure I am clear that this option that I'm sharing with you, many people have access to it. They're just not thinking of the way how they can have access to it. Again, proof of income, this is where it says get benefit verification letters. So if you know someone who needs proof of how much Social Security is sending to them, maybe they're getting their home refinanced, maybe they're moving into a place that needs to verify their income. If someone needs to change their address, which is very important to Social Security, even if a person's getting a Social Security cash payment, direct deposit, they still should be aware of the fact that they should change their address and their phone number with us. Keep that up to date, because we also mail letters out. And if those letters are returned, that's like a flag to us. So we want to make sure that your current address is always listed on our account, onto our records. And we're in tax season. You see at the bottom, it says get a replacement SSA 1099. That is the official document that individuals could receive, show proof of what Social Security sent to them throughout the whole year. If you do not have Social Security benefits, you still can register for a My Social Security account. It'll allow you to get estimates of what benefits you're going to receive. It'll also, again, that Social Security card, it can be replaced. If you had filed for a benefit, disability, or what have you, you can do the appeal online. So these are all the options that an individual can do with the My Social Security account. Now to that statement itself. The statement is going to be redesigned. You recall, again, waking up on your birthday and you're just like, okay, I got to open up all of this mail, and you're opening up our Social Security statement and you're looking at it and you see left and right. There's a lot of wording on it. Well, now they are very particular about the language that they're using. So it is what we call plain language is going to be used. There's different graphics on there. And we sent out, I think it was over 83 million statements in print. So even though they're going out to individuals once they turn age 60 and older, 83 million of those statements went out. And now, so again, that's age 60 and older if the person does not have a My Social Security account. If you wish, you can request a detailed statement, but you would do so by mailing in, and I can get some if someone wishes to do that. But that's sending it off to Baltimore. It takes a little while to get that, but that's just information for you. This is how the statement is going to look. You see the font. They've raised it a little bit more. So you can see that bar graph that I shared with you. They shared it in the middle here. It says personalized monthly retirement benefit. You can see the different ages as well as the dollar amounts that a person could receive. So it's a little more clear and concise that you may look for this information. Your earnings are all still going to be posted here on that statement as well. Now, something that's going to be a little different is that now it's going to be more catered based upon your age. There's going to be inserts, what we call fact sheets. And you can see it's going to be broken down based upon your age. So we have age groups of 18 to 48, 49 to 60, 61 to 69, and 70 and older. I think the one that says 70 and older, I think this should say something like, where have you been, buddy? But I don't think that those words in there. They wouldn't take my opinion on that one. But you're going to see certain information that's based upon if someone is, let's say we look at their Social Security record, because this information comes from IRS. So our letter, if you will, the statement is like a template, and we get the information from IRS and we apply it. And if we see a gap in those years, sometimes those individuals could be working and a non-covered pension outside of Social Security. And so therefore there's information about the windfall elimination provision, the government pension offset. That information is going to be in there. Now, keep in mind the Social Security statement does not know where you're working, but it may see that there's a gap in your work history. It also will cover information, again, if you're a new worker, this sees just 1 year working. Okay, well, maybe this is this person's first job. You'll see the information. Here's an example for those of age 49 to 60. It gives you information about when to claim benefits, if you could, or you're ready to, based upon your age. If you decide to keep working and getting a Social Security check. It also talks about family members. If you're married, if you're divorced, it speaks about that and how ways you can boost your Social Security benefit. Again, that My Social Security account is going to allow you to get to that Social Security statement. If you're less than age 60, this is your way of getting to see that Social Security statement prior to that. I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation today that we're going to use the top 35 years over your lifetime. Well, I have come across some employers, for whatever reason, weren't able to post your earnings to IRS's records, which means we do not reflect that in the Social Security statement. So you worked in 2010 and in 2011 and 12, but we only have 2010 and 12. You want to be aware of that by looking at your Social Security statement. And how to do so is, again, that little white the little white hand on the blue space bar. You can click that and create an account. What you will see, again, on our website is this first page in the red arrow, and you will get this link. Now, if you have already registered for a My Social Security account prior to September 18th, 2021, you can still use your same username and password. If you have not, you will have to create an account. Now, you see here where it says the word login.gov and ID Me. These are what we call external partners. They're going to vet who you say you are on your side of the computer before we allow you to have access to your account. So you can simply create an account, or if you click login.gov, it's going to get you this next screen here. It's going to ask for you to accept the terms of conditions, just like any other type of online services, whether you're a financial institution, your bank or what have you, same thing. And it'll allow you to go through that vetting process. It'll ask you a series of questions. It's not going to be the same as in the past, where it asked you all these what we call out of wallet questions. Now it's just going to make sure you have your username and password, and it's going to go through a series of things they're going to read on Social Security side. If you've ever filed for a benefit, what's your name and your date of birth, it'll vet all of those things together. Again, you have to be age 18, have a U.S. mailing address, and a valid email address in order to do so. If you're looking to help someone, please be mindful of this. You yourself, you cannot sign up an account for someone else. You can assist them. My job is to encourage you to say that, let's say you're helping mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever it may be. Let them click the enter button, but they must have their own email address. Let them answer any out of wallet questions if anything was to pop up. Again, your role is not to create the account for them, but it'll verify who entered it. We can read IP addresses and all those things. So just want to make sure I put that out there for everyone. Now, the part about the local office, I had mentioned that a couple of times here. I can let everyone know that during the pandemic, we at Social Security were not permitted to have walk-in traffic. There were so many different guidelines, and then for us, when we wanted to open it back up to walk-in traffic, then we had, what was the first one? We had the Omicron, and then, we had Delta, then we had Omicron, and, now we got B2K, and I don't know, whoever, all these different things taking place. And so that caused some pause for us for Social Security, because we do have many individuals who may be more susceptible or vulnerable to, different conditions, in particular COVID. So what we do, I can say today that effective tomorrow, April 7th, our Social Security office is going to allow walk-in traffic. However, let me time out for everyone. It's not going to be just like it used to be, where you walked in, you took a number without you. Now what's going to take place is that we're only still allowed a limited number of individuals into the Social Security office. So you may come to the office, and then you will come into the office and someone's going to speak to you to find out why you're there. Then they're going to look to see, is it something quick And if they can, if it's something quick, I'm just getting a social security card replacement as an example. They may then assign you to allow you to come into the office, you take your number, what have you, someone will pull you up to the booth. Then the next person may be here for, let's say, a retirement benefit. That option to file retirement can be done online. So that individual may be requested to make an appointment or to file online. And let me make sure I say this: when someone files online, all it means is that you go to your smartphone, you go to your desktop, tablet, whatever it may be. Once you go through the screens and answer the questions for the retirement benefit, you hit enter. It still comes to us electronically. We still will contact you. The other option is we would make an appointment through our 800 number. You can make that appointment. That is going to be my suggestion. First suggestion for you, if you're looking to contact Social Security, is to see if the information can be done online. Second suggestion would be, can you find out, can you just call first to ask questions? That's the 800 number, 772-1213, 1-800-772-1213. If that cannot be done, then there would be an appointment. So I'm going to strongly encourage everyone to go to our website first, socialsecurity.gov, make a phone call second or first, and then see if there's going to be an appointment, if we're allowed to make an appointment for you, because there's only going to be a limited number of individuals physically in that building. And I cover multiple counties, and it's going to be the same nationally as well as our local counties, whether it's Stark, Summit, Wayne, Medina, Mahoney, Trumbull, Tuscarawas County, all will be the same format. So you may only see 3 or 4 people allowed in, and the other individuals, if you're going to have a need that day, you're going to be asked to stay outside or in your car until we call you. Like when you go to Carrabba's or wherever you may be. I just happen to like Carrabba's. You can go there and then they'll give you something, or in our case, we're going to be able to call you. Some offices have something, they're like a little beeper, and some offices may not. But either way, they'll take your phone number down and they'll call you while you're resting in the car. I'm just making sure I'm informing everyone. Do not think it's the same as it was before. This is a gradual process because we have to be mindful of the populations that we serve to determine, to make sure everybody, at least help everyone stays healthy, or at least keep that spacing and safety distance from each other. So just be mindful of that. And there's other little things I don't want to bore you about, how we had to open as a federal agency and unions and all this type of thing. So if you wish to go to the office because you could not get your My Social Security account opened, again, that login.gov or the ID Me feature that I showed you, they also have the login.gov, the ID Me feature has a Zoom feature where you can actually pull your driver's license up and they'll show it to you. But if need be, if you had to come to our office, make sure you have your driver's license, state ID, or passport with you. We do have our calculators. If you're curious about figuring out, okay, I got the Social Security statement, but how do I figure out exactly how much? We have a series of calculators that you can use on our website. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, ssa.gov planners. Just type in the word calculators. You're going to get the same thing. And you'll have the ability to look at your Social Security credits. Again, for filing for retirement benefits, if you're over age 62 and older receiving benefits, or if you're eligible for pension not covered by Social Security, that's not going to be on that calculator. But we do have calculators for those who did pay into another retirement system and to see that impact of Social Security. So that's on our website, socialsecurity.gov. The last thing I'm going to cover here is please be mindful. I don't know if you have received, but I know there's been multiple people who have received those phone calls where someone's calling you acting like, either they're your best friend or they're your worst enemy. And then they're threatening you to say that, hey, Social Security is going to suspend your Social Security number. Social Security does not suspend any Social Security numbers. We are going to send you to jail if you do not tell us your Social Security number or go to this box store and open up a gift card and put money on it and then call us back, or you're going to jail. Social Security does not do that. There is no threatening calls that Social Security is going to give to you. We are going to possibly mail out a letter to you. If you called us first to say, I would like to make an appointment, then yes, you made the appointment. That's why we called you back. That makes sense. But Social Security is not going to call you out of blue and say, hey, you know what? We've been watching you and we want to make sure you're doing whatever it may be. That's not Social Security. I'm telling you that if you get one of those phone calls, you can report it to OIG, Office of Inspector General. OIG.ssa.gov. That's kind of like our FBI. That's who you want to report those to, or simply hang up. Now, we do want you to use that oig.ssa.gov so that way they can continue to track where these calls are coming from. And they want to know any basic thing that you can tell them. The sound of the individual's voice. When did they call you? How long? What did they say? All of those different things are going to matter on the oig.ssa.gov. We have like a little template that you can fill that information out. And if you wish, like I said, just hang up. You can continue to follow us. We have all the social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We used to have Pinterest, but people start getting upset because they have to have their recipes. So we couldn't hold on to that too long. That completes what I wanted to discuss today.